Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a winter cabin with a little reflection in the water and by a river and maybe a Christmas tree or two. I don't know. Got my husband Mark with me tonight.
Hey there, everybody.
He's been in chat for this live stream. So yeah, let's see how it turns out. I've got 2 hours. Let's go. All right, we're going to be speeding through tonight, so hold on to your hats.
Hold on to your sleigh.
Yes, hold on to your sleigh. I'm using a 12 by 12 inch canvas today, this Fredrix canvas. I haven't done anything special to it except for just painted the background with Cobalt Teal and kind of lightly sketched on our cabin. I think I'm going to change up from the reference photo just a little bit to give it a little bit more of a face. Let's go over colors. Got carbon black, burnt umber, burnt sienna, quinacridone magenta, pyrrole orange, Indian yellow hue, cadmium yellow light, cobalt teal, phthalo blue green shade, ultramarine blue, and unbleached titanium, titanium white. I have zinc white too, but don't panic if you don't have it. That's fine. It's just a transparent white. And this one is gloss glazing liquid. I'll tell you when we're using them why I'm using the zinc white, but so stay tuned for that little teaser. All right. All right, so I have decided to put my cabin kind of here. This is a totally made up image. I pieced together like 3 or 4 different photos, so if it looks piecemeal, it is, but I'm going to do my best to make it look sort of realistic. Let's see. So we're wanting our horizon line to be, in this picture, it's actually kind of right in the middle, which I don't normally do. I'd like to usually have it kind of lower, but that's kind of where it ended up on this actual photo that I was using. So we're going to do that, and our kind of icy bank is going to go like that on that side, and it goes behind the house on this side. And then the rest of this up here is going to be all our sky. Our house is going to live kind of right in the middle area here, just about maybe 1.5 inches from the horizon line there, just down a little ways. And since we're kind of tilting him, I'm going to kind of give him a little bit more of a tilt this way. So we're saying maybe the vanishing point is somewhere out here. So these lines would kind of line up to it. Those 3 lines would line up to our vanishing point if we did a ruler and a straight line to them. These ones here will be straight on to us somewhat, maybe angled off slightly to this side. And of course this one is not there, but maybe these windows would be angled off that way. And again, they would taper this way. So you have a 2-point perspective here on this cabin. And just think of like strings pulling these lines this way and these lines this way. And anything that is vertical goes straight up and down. Okay. I think that'll work. And then we'll just do a little like that. If you want to know the exact center of that, you can kind of go from the corner of underneath the roof line to the corner here, and from the edge of that roof line to the corner here, and then find your centerpiece, and that should line up with the top part of your roof, and then you'll kind of know where to put that. And also it helps with your windows and window placement too, because they'll be slightly offset. Okay, that's about as detailed as I'm going to get with this drawing. And I'm going to draw in our river just a little bit. So it's going to kind of meander that way. And then there's a bank coming down there and a little bit more. And then I want some of the cabin in the reflection of the water here. So I want my water to kind of come down this way. One little trick is that you can make sure that any of the banks that are going back this way that are kind of horizontal, make them even straighter than you see them. So if you have any that are kind of angled like this, make them a little bit more straight on, and that will help with the perspective, also making them smaller as they get farther away. All right, so I'm going to do one kind of coming out that way, but anytime I'm kind of coming back, I'm going to kind of really cut hard, straight lines, and that'll help. And then I'm having my big Christmas tree right in here, and that's about all I'm going to draw because I want to get my sky in, and then we're going to freehand the trees and things like that. All right, so how's everybody doing?
So far, so good.
Welcome to our live stream. Subscribe if you haven't already, hopefully.
Yeah.
And give it a thumbs up.
I got a special thing for that somewhere.
You can even hit the bell icon if you're 100% sure you want to hear from us. Or even sign up for the newsletter if you want to go all the way, you know. We're there for it.
There it is. There's the subscribe button. As I get older, it's just going to get slower and slower. Hopefully, I'll find it by the end of the video.
I talked about it like 2 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago, yeah.
It's all right. We've been doing this a while. So.
I'm not coming, Miss Daisy.
People, they've been with us.
Yeah.
They know.
They know better.
They're getting old with us, so it's okay. Everybody's. Oh, goodness. Okay. So I'm making up some yellow here, some light yellow. I think I'm going to use a little bit. Now, I don't think I'm going to go as light as it shows in the picture because I actually am making this. It was a daytime photo of the snow, and I'm making it nighttime, so I don't want it as light as it is in the photograph. I kind of tried to filter it, but it still didn't. Even with the filter, it didn't quite go as dark as I wanted it to. So I'm going to get some teal. I've got that yellow there that I can dip into if I need it lighter. Now, the cobalt teal already has white in it, so if you don't have that color, just mix phthalo blue with some yellow or even phthalo green if you have it, and then just a little bit of white, and you'll get teal color. Doesn't have to be exactly like mine. You guys know that by now, right? This is art. You just do what feels good to you. Does not have to be perfect. Does not have to be exactly like mine. It's not going to be. Even if you used all the same brushes and all the same supplies. Look at that. It was kind of like pushing that chalk away. That was weird. Your handwriting is different than mine. The way you hold the brush is going to be different than, the way I do. And I've been painting a long time, so I probably make it look a little bit easier than it will be. And that's okay, too. Just do it the best you can and keep on trying. That's the main thing. Don't give up. All right, so I'm kind of lightening up there, and I'm going to pull that light color up into my sky. And if you're scared of blending or, just are not used to that, with acrylics, they dry pretty fast. So before that dries, if I want to blend it into my teal color, I need to get some of that teal. I'm going to go right above it and pull back down into that wet layer. I don't have a lot of paint left on my brush from that original color, but I did not clean it out. So you don't have to clean it out. And if you wait to clean it out, your brush is going to be drippy wet. It's probably not going to blend, and your paint's probably dry by the time you've got it cleaned out completely. So just use what you've got, and it'll be fine. Okay, so just adding a little bit of that lighter color kind of here. It looks light. We're going to darken everything else up, so it that teal color was kind of a good base color to start with. So let's go ahead and darken up our night sky. I want it a lot darker than in the reference photo. Maybe not black, but closer. Do I have Dioxazine Purple? I think I forgot to put it out on my palette. Do I have that on my list?
Let me check. Please hold.
I think I put it in my list.
Yes,
okay.
You do.
I'm pointing it out. Sorry,
Did your parents ever tell you not to talk with your mouth full?
In a rush in my mouth?
With the brush in your mouth?
That was almost...
Okay, now you have to paint with the brush in your mouth. Go.
Almost a problem. Okay. There we go. Dioxazine Purple. Because we want a little bit of that in our sky too. All right, so I'm getting the Phthalo Blue, and I'm adding burnt sienna think I grabbed the burnt umber by accident, but I want burnt sienna because what that'll do is make it more turquoisey, and I want my sky to be kind of turquoise. Okay, that's really pretty. There we go. So we want that. And I'm gonna kind of, it's not really Aurora Borealis, but we're gonna kind of pretend like maybe it's sort of like it. I don't know. It's got a little bit of Northern Lights vibes to me. So we'll go with that and kind of just do it sort of swipey side to side, just a little bit. And
Good
don't
thing
worry about
Swiper's
it
not here.
being, what?
Good thing, what's her name is not here?
Who?
Dora. Because she's always saying swiper, no swiping. And
Oh,
you're doing
Dora.
swipies.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh gosh, it's been years since we watched those shows. I don't even know if they're around anymore.
I don't know, but I've seen where the lady who did the voice of Dora, she does those Comic Cons and things like that, and she
Oh, really?
freaks some kids out by doing the voice, and they're like, "Wait a minute,
Wait a minute, how's that possible? Okay. So there we go. Just kind of trying to get, it looks kind of blotchy. I'm not going to lie, I don't really love how this canvas is accepting the paint tonight. It's not really cooperating very well to me. Not really liking it. But we'll do the best we can. Okay, so cleaned out my brush, and now I'm going to get more of that darker color, and I'm just going to put it in my water down here. And my water, I'm going to kind of go up and down. So my sky, I'm kind of going side to side, and my water, I'm kind of going to go up and down. So those reflections are kind of hitting and being pulled down in the water. Just a little bit. And maybe a little bit of that darker color along the banks. Shadowing. I haven't really finalized exactly where anything's going to go yet, and that's okay. We're not there yet. Acrylics are a matter of being patient and layering, so you just, if you're impatient, this is, I mean, I'm impatient. This is why I don't do like watercolor and oil paint, because I don't have time to wait, but you still do have to wait a little bit with acrylics. It does dry fast, but not that fast. You gotta let it dry in between layers, and don't try to build up too many layers. Like right here, I'm trying to kind of put in layers here, but this layer that I put down before is not quite dry yet. So I'm going to get some more of that Cobalt Teal and try to kind of layer that back on. And all I'm doing is just trying to kind of get a little bit of darkness right in the water by where the bank is. This is Ultramarine Blue. I think I got a little Phthalo blue. So wherever that snowbank is going to be at, part of this is going to be on the snow itself, and part will be in the water. So kind of want a little bit of that in both places. Okay, that looks good. That little bit brighter color is nice. And let's go ahead and sort of base in our roof a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way with it because my sky's not done, so. But I'll get a little bit of the burnt sienna, a little bit of phthalo blue, a little bit of that ultramarine blue, just kind of blue and brown. And we'll kind of use that as our sort of base for our house. We're kind of going messy tonight. I'm not going to be too fussy with this. I think I got a little fussy with my kitty cat last week, and I didn't like it as well as I wanted. It wasn't as cute as I wanted. I mean, he's cute, but he did still end up looking like he was mean mugging a little bit. So I'm gonna try to keep it loose. Just go with it tonight and try to keep my brush strokes a little looser and not so fussy. So getting some burnt umber here, a little bit of burnt sienna I think too. And I'm going to make my cabin kind of brownish. I'm going to maybe get a little bit of that orange, maybe a little bit of the magenta, warm it up. Maybe around the doors or where the light is hitting the cabin, it's going to have some more reddish tones to the wood. And make sure I leave a little lip of that roof line hanging over right there. Okay, again, just kind of barely blocking in colors here. I'm using this big brush on purpose so I don't get too controlled with it. Doesn't have to be perfect right now. We're just trying to get some color on here. And then where those little openings are, I'm going to get my yellow and just put some yellow in there. The door's kind of left open. That's kind of silly, but oh well. Who would do that in the winter time? We're not trying to be real here.
Obviously not a dad.
They were born in a barn, obviously.
Yes, somebody born in a barn and not a dad. We are not heating the whole neighborhood. How many have heard that phrase?
Oh gosh, you make a better window or better door than a window. A lot.
Well, that was back in the day before there was like wireless remote controls for
Right.
TVs.
You couldn't stop the
And
TV.
me being the youngest child, I was the remote.
What do you had to go get.
Hey, Mark, turn the channel. No,
So you just
other
get
way.
You'd get, and then you get up and stand right in front of it.
Right.
Yeah, nobody
And
can
then,
see.
And I'd like to think that I remember it was
Wrong way.
before I even knew up and down.
Oh gosh.
No, up, no, go the other, no, turn it the other way.
This explains a lot, actually.
Do you have
Why
that?
am I just learning this now? We've been married how long?
Do you have the same problem with me?
No comment.
Putting a star on top of a Christmas tree? I don't know.
Oh, geez.
When I look down from the ladder across the room and I see that look on her face of just don't say anything. Just, I know she wants to say something.
You're really trying hard.
And she's looking at me like, are you doing this on purpose? Are you really being incompetent on purpose, or is that just you?
Are you just messing with me right now? Or you really think that looks straight? I don't know. I can't tell. Okay. We crack ourselves up. All right. I make some light ultramarine blue, just mixing ultramarine blue and white. I think I put a little teal in there too, just to kind of make it meld with the background a little bit. I'm going to start to put in kind of a cooler blue on this far hillside and some of these areas where the water I see is coming down towards the water. Again, it's not going to look like much yet, and that's okay. Don't panic yet. We're not there. The time to panic is like 2 hours from now, and it still looks like this in 2 hours, then come talk to me. Then we have problems. We are not there yet. I'm going to get some of this ultramarine blue, maybe a little bit of this darker color, and I'm going to kind of darken up the snow right by our cabin, and we'll add our highlights onto this too, so don't worry about that, but I'm just going to add some of that color there. Maybe kind of pull it down towards my water. I need to define my edge of my snowbank over here, so let's say it's coming down from like right here. There's a little bit of it kind of peeking out behind, but like right in here, and then maybe like right down here. And this is where I was saying, keep it kind of loose. If you kind of keep your wrist loose and hold the brush a little bit farther back, you're not like holding it really tight up right here. Just kind of hold it back a little bit and let it. I've switched to, I didn't talk about my brushes at all, did I? This one was the 12 bright, sorry, and this one is the 8 flat in the Princeton Summit series, 6100 series.
You can tell we were all paying attention because we didn't even notice.
Nobody even asked. They're like,
is she painting?
they're all just
Oh, yeah,
chatting.
she's painting.
That's
right.
okay. They're loud.
That's what the live show is all about.
That's exactly. That's the nice thing about the live shows. I forgot I was gonna add more of the water down here so that I could get more of that reflection in the water. So just fixing that because I put my snow in front of that. Okay, so we're gonna end the snowbank kind of right here and sort of angle it back this way. So let's go ahead and put that dark sort of at the base of it and anywhere else where I've done the snow. See, we're already, look at that. Like all we did is put a little bit of dark right there. We put the light there, the dark underneath it, and now boom, it's popping out. It's all you need to do. It's just like we're repeating that process like 1,000 more times, but we're close. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so I think my sky is dry. I did not mean to rhyme, but that's okay. So yeah, let's assess what we like here. What do we like? What we do not like? I do kind of like it. I don't like that it's sort of splotchy in some places. And so I think I kind of probably do need to do at least like one more coat on it before I do my trees. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping to get it done in one by doing the background teal, but I don't think that's going to happen. So let me try. I'm trying to decide if I want to go back with this bigger brush. I guess it's probably better to get it done faster. We'll do the big brush. So we're going back to the 12. Yeah, let's go ahead and do. I'm trying to think if I want some of that yellow or not. I don't think I do because I think I want to put some trees in here. And I think I'm going to use this background color kind of as my tree. I do think I want a moon in here maybe. That'll probably be one of the last things I put in, just if I have time and we think we want it. So we're going to have trees, little trees back here, a little bit bigger ones in front, and that big massive one right here, which I didn't really leave much room for. I may need to bring that down a little bit. Okay, so yeah, let's go back in with the teal and a little bit of white. And do that. I'm even going to get some yellow here. Why not? Oh, there is kind of like a magenta glow back there too. I think I might want to add that because I do like that magenta kind of glow. So I'm just going to add a second layer to this sky here, just to trying to even out some of the tones, some of the splotchiness. Getting more of that teal now, remember? So we've got our layer here, it's wet. We're going to add our teal right into it. And if it doesn't blend, it doesn't look good, and you just keep adding layers. Just let them dry completely before you try to blend into them. If they're starting to dry, like if they're, get kind of tacky to the touch, then you need to let them dry, and then you can add more layers. So I'm going to get some of this phthalo blue, maybe just a little bit of the burnt sienna this time, maybe not as dark, and blend that in. There we go, that's pretty. And again, we're going to have trees over this, so at least parts of it. And I want this area to be a little bit darker back here towards the corners. And then I'm going to get that ultramarine blue and start adding it in back over here where my farthest area of my sky is, like kind of up high and behind my cabin. And I need to be careful right in here where it's starting to dry. You can see it's just got these areas where it's not accepting paint. Like, I don't know what's going on with this. It's weird. Gotta put 2 layers on there. It should be covering that, but it's not. I don't know. Okay, so this is starting to get a little bit tacky right here. And by tacky, I can just feel it's not moving around when I try to. it's wearing white after Labor Day. It's, I don't know. Just I do that all the time. Who cares? But
As I look at my white T-shirt I have on, should I put it?
did I say that on purpose out loud?
So I should get some black T-shirts to wear
Subliminal messaging going on.
from September to May. I can do that.
Mark single-handedly keeps Fruit of the Loom white T-shirts in stock.
Yeah, got to keep them
business.
employed.
Swear. It was like months into COVID, and I was like, are you going to wear anything but white T-shirts? And they're not even like nice white T-shirts. They're just like the multi-pack white T-shirts that are just not good. He did not get the hint at all, by the way.
Well, no,
Ultramarine Blue.
I did for that period of time, but I've gone back to it, hoping you wouldn't notice, but apparently you did.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I kind of like that sort of feel in the sky. It feels kind of like it's moving. It's nice having this like little bit duller colors back there, and then having these brighter colors sort of popping in over them here and there. I'm gonna go ahead and do this darker blue sort of on the bank behind my tree, because I'm gonna have to add that in, and then I'm gonna add more of this darker color in my water. So anytime I'm adding a new color or doing something interesting in the sky, I want to kind of mimic it down here in the water. So, you know, anywhere where I've got kind of some of that glow happening or whatever in the sky, then I want to put it in my water too, in roughly the same general area. And, you know, so like maybe right to there with that green color. And then down here I would be transitioning to the blue, the darker blues. Makes sense. Whatever's happening, you know, in this area. It's the, I don't know. Like you can see it right here. There's a line there, there's a line there, there's a line there, and there's a line there.
Must be the manufacturer.
Yeah, it's got to be. I don't know. It's weird. Sorry.
Maybe it's the aliens trying to communicate to us.
Don't get weird comments. Or we'll put on some sort of weird list on, you know, the algorithm will just be like, what kind of channel is that? They won't
Painting
even
with
know
aliens.
They won't even know what we're doing.
Angela's new channel.
Okay. So there we go. All right. Yeah, definitely not pleased with the canvas happening. What you can do if you get these are their cheaper canvases, the Fredrix cheaper canvases. I don't generally use these ones, but I'm down to my last couple boxes of this size. So you can cover them with gesso, and that should help prevent any of this adhesion problems that I'm having here. But did not anticipate this, so we're just going to deal with it as best we can. Not a whole lot we can do at this point, unless we want to paint over everything.
So what you're saying is that people at home don't have to paint in the white lines in theirs? Get the same effect.
Right, no.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
You don't have to put those in. Okay, getting the ultramarine blue and a little bit of black. I don't use black a ton, but it makes a nice dark blue. And I want to start to kind of really defining now sort of the edge of my water line. Just a little bit. I'm going to do it on both sides. And this one is actually, I don't know why I did it this way, but it's going to come that that way out. So kind of like that. Maybe it's right in here somewhere. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm kind of just having to wait for the sky to dry, do its thing. Not a whole lot I can do. I'm trying to find places where the paint's still not wet, and yeah, see, like right here, this is what happens. I don't know if you can see that, but I touched that area right there that's trying to dry, and it lifted off. That may have happened up there. I may have just touched over an area that was drying, but I just have to go thicker with it. Sorry, I'm like making these weird, I had a fly, like a little fruit fly. I'm just like doing all these really random hand motions. Like, what is she doing? Yeah, that was it. Just a fly. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, I'm seeing it glitch. Are you sure the thing is off?
What thing is off?
Yes, it is.
100% positive.
Well, looks like we're getting a new computer. We keep having a glitching problem, and we thought we solved it, but it's back, so. Oh, well. We didn't need Christmas. Who needed Christmas?
There's a new update for OBS, so we might try downloading that and see what happens.
All right.
I won't do that right now, but
No, probably
later.
not during the show.
Okay.
Probably a good idea. All right, so getting some white. I'm kind of getting the teal. I'm just kind of using whatever colors I've already got that I've used in the sky. So that's all I'm doing, and adding some white here. So kind of getting a couple different lighter and mid-tone blues mixed up here with some white so that I can use them in my snow and on the roof of my house. Right, and maybe get a little bit of burnt umber to just kind of gray it out, because it's not going to be super bright. And let's go ahead. Well, see, I'm only doing this because this is the only thing dry right now. So, but I realize I got to do my trees first. So.
How about I dry it, and you can talk about your Patreon stuff and what you want for Christmas.
What I want for Christmas?
Yes.
Ooh.
Do you have like some kind of a holiday guide you want?
Okay. There you go. Thank you. Down in the description, Mark is alluding to, I am doing a podcast with the guys that used to own the Brush Guys. The Brush Guys, they sold it, but there's been a new owner for a couple of years now, I think. And I'm looking up the name of the podcast. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick. And I'm going to be doing a podcast. It's about art supplies. Art Supply Insiders. That's the name of the podcast. And I've done one previously a while ago. And we'll be doing another one coming up. It'll probably air in December, maybe late November, December. I'll be sure to post it on my socials. But I need you guys to help me because we're going to be talking about kind of a holiday, like the ultimate holiday gift guide for beginners. You know, what is in your paint kit that is like essential to you, and also kind of anything interesting or new on the market that you want to try out that you haven't tried before, whether it's like a, new pastel pencils or a particular paint color or a particular product. And you're like, I've always wanted to try this, but I don't know. I don't want to buy it. I'm not sure if I like it or not. So I've got a link down in the description to a Google Doc form where you can enter your ideas for that, like what's on your Christmas wish list, what do you want to see, and I might use those in a video too, not just on the podcast. So if you guys have some good ideas of things that you want to see, we've done these little mini mini lessons. We did a mini lesson on different brushes and how to do fur with different brushes last week, if you missed it. So just ideas for stuff like that that you guys would like to see will be really helpful if you want to put your input in with that survey. So the link to that is down in the description. All right. I didn't talk about Patreon. I will have a traceable for this on my Patreon as well, like we do for all of our videos since 2017. And just to kind of give you a head start, your time is valuable. And if you don't know how to draw, or even if you do, and just want a head start, just want to feel like painting and don't feel like worrying about drawing, then you'll have a traceable that you can start with and throw that outline on there and do your thing, you know.
And those with kids or grandkids or husbands, they can then give the used traceables to them to color.
Yeah, yes, and I have
It's
done
like a
that
coloring
with
book.
my grandson. Yep, they're great. So that's all on my website. If you want to join Patreon, you can see kind of videos I've done. You search through our back catalog. There's literally hundreds of videos on there. I'm adding the kind of mid-tone ultramarine blue here and just kind of now going just above those dark lines that I did and adding kind of a mid value to the snow that is just on that little bank right there. And I want them to be kind of small back here. And then as they get down closer, I'm going to go a little bit thicker with them and a little bit deeper with that snow. Look like they're closer to us and a little bit more perspective. That was our dog. He's like, Mom, perspective. Oh. I'm not on Mom's lap. That's not happy. I'm not happy about it. Goober. Yeah, if we could figure out how to paint with him on my lap, it'd be a good world. He'd be happy. He usually doesn't do that until about 2 hours into the show, so he must be particularly grumpy tonight. All right, adding some sort of lighter, a little bit lighter tones, same ultramarine blue and white, just adding some of this. And then this lighter tone, what we'll do is we'll be able to like put our magenta and pink and stuff on top of this. It'll show up really nicely against it. It'll be just like a little bit lighter color. So I'm pretty happy with that, I think. Just going to try to soften off that edge where I saw that, you know, where I put that darker blue. But that already looks to me, you know, it's starting to take form. I'm starting to see a little bit of, you know, what I want to see here. So I'm going to kind of pull down some of this mid-tone blue right up underneath my shadow area. Anytime I'm adding something up here, I want to add it down in the water. So this will just kind of help keep me adding the right stuff. If I just do it as I go, then I don't have so much to do later, you know, and you're not having to remember what color did I use there or whatever, you know, we're just doing it as we go. It's gonna be much easier. Okay, here we go. I need to do a little bit of that dark in the water too, even. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. And I still don't like my sky, but oh well, we're just gonna go with it because I don't have time to paint it 4 times. I'm done. Okay, so I'm done. I'm over it. We're moving on. I'm gonna get some glaze and my magenta, and I'm just gonna go right up towards the horizon line here and just add a little glaze. I don't know. I think I need a little bit of paint to make it stick. It doesn't feel like it's sticking very well. So maybe get a little bit of that white and tiny bit of that cobalt teal, which was my base color back here. Just add a little bit of that. there and a little bit on my, yeah, it's just not wanting to do. Yeah. I think I get spoiled by the canvases that I use. The better, you know, buying a better canvas. And like I always tell people, I'd buy brushes first, but after this, I'm like, maybe not. I don't know. I think the canvas also has something to do with this, because this is not. No, not going to have this on my recommended list. That's for sure. Not really having a good experience with the way that the paint is laying down. It's just not moving around for me like it should. It's doing okay down here where I'm going on thicker, but when I'm trying to blend it, it's not wanting to blend at all. It's just kind of staying put and doing weird streaky things. I'm still trying to kind of cover some of that. It's still not wanting to accept paint right there, which is, to me, tells me that the binder, that it needed more gesso or something on here. There we go. That kind of sort of stuck. Okay, I said I was done with this, and then I'm messing with it again. I know. I'm going back to it.
Stop touching it.
I know. I'm going to get some yellow. Add some yellow in here.
Gonna pet that dog.
Can pet that dog. If you're not on TikTok, you have no idea what we're talking about, so sorry. I know. Okay, so I'm going to get the angle shader. This is the 3/8 inch VelvetTouch brush. Angle brush, really handy. I'm going to use that to do my trees back here. And I want to blend the color that I have for my sky into my tree, also my foreground color. It's going to make this so much easier. So I'm going to get that blue that I was just using, that teal. I need more of the teal color.
Doing awesome.
Thank you. What, 45 minutes and I'm not even close to the cabin, but the water's mostly getting there. I'm happy with the water at least, so. Sky, not so much, but we're having lots of trees, so we're just gonna hopefully hope our trees fix it. We'll see. We'll see. Can she do it? I'm gonna get some purple, I think. Maybe we'll want some purple. I don't know. What color do we want our trees to be? Maybe purple. Maybe a little bit of that burnt sienna with the phthalo blue. Yeah, that's kind of a nice neutral bluish. Got a little bit of a purpley mauve almost tone to it. I think that's going to be nice. And then in the distant, the farthest ones, the farthest ones away, I'm going to get a little bit of the purple, or the magenta even, and a little bit more of that sky blue. So I want to try to match up this color and go just slightly, like maybe one shade lighter. And there we go. So I should just barely kind of be able to see it against that blue. And I'm going to put in some little tree-like shapey shapes. Nothing major. I'm not worried about. I can barely see these, so they don't have to be perfect. But I want to keep them kind of small. Maybe just a couple of them. And then I'm going to go with this a little bit darker color here. Maybe two. I think maybe one of these should be a little bit darker. Kind of coming up from the edge of my tree line. And then to do these trees, I'm just kind of tapping down a straight line here. And then I'm going to use the edge of the brush and just kind of flip it back and forth. Flick it back and forth to create these little branchy like thingamajiggers, whatever, branches. I'm on it today.
Tree things.
I know the words, all the words.
Tree parts.
Parts. Okay, making sure I kind of. Okay, so I want to kind of blend where the snow and the tree meet, and then I could also go back in. I'm gonna just check this, and maybe even add a little bit of like little white dots to. And it's not white; it's just like a lighter version of what I've already done. Just add a little white to them, but maybe they've got a little bit of snow clinging to them. Okay, I'm losing my voice. All right, that's good enough, I guess. Looks all right. Still not happy with that. I'm still not happy with my background, my sky. So, and most of these are going to be kind of somewhat obscured by the trees that we'll put on after this. So, this is your practice session. Just do as many of these as you want to practice your bigger trees. Get comfortable with it, and then when we're ready, we'll start doing our bigger trees. All right, so.
Okay, so Chad is saying that the manufacturers will put some kind of a film or coating on the canvases before packing them to keep them from developing mildew. So they recommend to wipe it off with a damp cloth or something. So I don't know if that's this case. So here, let me see that. I'll look.
It doesn't say on here anywhere. It just says acid-free acrylic priming. But I don't have the back part of it. Here's the back part. Yeah, here. Sorry, here. It's got paint stuck to it. There you go. You can read it. See if they say anything. But yeah, that would make sense.
This is way too many words. Like
I've literally never done that. Like literally never done that. So, but I think with the, I don't know. I think they put the chemical in the gesso, I think, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. I'll have to ask Fredrix directly when I order it next time. I'll ask their manufacturer person, my contact person. All right, so adding the two blues together, added the burnt sienna. Still not loving this color. I feel like I want it a little bit brighter, so I'm going to add that purple again. I kind of didn't end up using that purple before. All right, so let's get serious. Let's start putting in some trees that are living up here and being big and fat and happy trees right here. I'm gonna do one there. We'll do one. I want a little chimney to be like right in here somewhere. So I'm just gonna put one kind of next to it, not quite in the way. Maybe a couple of them. And then maybe another big one right here. And then I like this big one that's like right at the top here. If I was smart, I would have put it right over that line that I had. But I didn't think of it until just now. Let's do kind of a mid-size one back here. And these are all kind of living behind or on this area here, so they don't have to be perfect. I think maybe I want this there instead. A little closer to that one. A little bit higher right here. And then this big one here, I'm going to kind of make sure I have it in where I want it. Right in there. And it's going to go all the way out to like here. It's the one that's in the foreground. Right? So it's going to be right there. Let's do one more that's kind of peeking out right back here. I might make that one a little bit lighter color And maybe another one right in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna, there, okay, there we go. That one was off camera. I've just got an interesting flow here of my trees, right? Just kind of trying to create interesting shapes with them. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. And on the ones that are a little slightly shorter, so these ones, I'm going to go with just a slightly lighter color. I'll just kind of push them back a little bit. The shorter height already is kind of making them feel a little farther away. This will just do even more of that. We'll have two factors plus the overlapping of the trees in the background here. Well, three factors that create depth and create distance here in our trees. The three main, let's come back and just do it again. Yes. The three main things are all right. I can't. I need it.
Stay focused.
I need it to show up. It's not showing up there, so I need it dark enough to actually show up. So I'm going to have to go a little bit darker on this area back here, but it looks okay. So all I did is added a little bit more white to that one. And let's do the same thing here. So if you look at the reference photo, this is actually an actual forest. So you can see how kind of, spindly these trees are. Kind of not loving the shapes I'm getting here. There we go. I need a little bit less paint on my brush for it to be slightly less clumpy, but then when I add less paint, it also kind of makes it a little bit sort of wispy on the end. So you could use a fan brush if you want. I know that one of the lessons in the spring I went through fan brushes. I can't remember if I did it for patrons or if it was for YouTube, but I want to say it was for YouTube. All right. Now I'm also going to have snow clumps on here, but I'm going to do all my snow at the same time because I don't have time to do them one at a time. All right, here we go. Just kind of pulling down to the side. We'll spin it out. Some of these are kind of all on their own, so leave some gaps, but I am kind of tapping in the middle so that that middle line has got some fullness. But these are pretty laden down with snow, and so they're not like fluffed out trees. They're sort of just, they're hunkered down for the winter here. All right, looks all right. It's up to you. And then I'm going to go back in and kind of add some rogue branches that are a little bit farther out and maybe a little bit more detailed. Just kind of tapping the back end of my brush to, there we go. And if you look at our photo, they really do kind of do this. So your brain's going to be screaming at you like, that's not a tree. And you just got to look at your photo and see what it's doing and do that. Don't worry about what your brain's telling you, because it will steer you wrong every time when you're trying to paint and doing something that is not what you remember when you close your eyes and think about a tree. That is the image that your brain is going to be trying to tell you should be painting, even if it's not what you're painting at all, even if it's a totally different kind of tree, even if it's like, it's going to tell you trees are green and you should not be painting it blue, and it's going to tell you, that the shape is wrong and all that kind of thing. So you just have to kind of I think 90% of painting sometimes is like blocking out what your brain is trying to tell you not to do, that you're doing something wrong, which is not true. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but anyhow. Okay, so we're gonna kind of come down here and just in the photo, for some reason, it wasn't quite like full on reflections, so I'm not gonna worry about the whole tree, but I am gonna kind of side to side sort of paint sort of a messy, wobbly, tree-like thingamabobs here. Okay, just like that. That's really all I'm going to do. And just kind of do the same. I'm just going to anticipate that this one's going to be right here and just sort of do little squiggles in my water with the tip of the brush. Do not get super fancy with this. This water is moving, so these reflections are not like perfect mirror images. It's okay. All right. Getting some white here. Kind of trying to clean up that roof line so I don't lose it. All right, so we got good trees. These three are almost the same size, so I'm probably going to make one of them a little bit bigger just so they don't look like they're three people gossiping, standing around together. I don't know. Make this one a little bit taller. Make this one even taller still. There we go. 3 different sizes there. And then this one over here. I think this one's probably going to be eaten up by mostly by this tree here, but there is going to be a little bit of it showing back here, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And again, kind of a little bit lighter than this one's going to be almost black. Your darkest and lightest colors are always going to be, you know, depending on your light. Obviously, there's always, you know, I shouldn't say always, but most often going to be in your foreground areas. And the areas in the background, you're going to have less detail, less saturation with your colors, and more influence from the sky and the background. All right, so I'm going to add my lighter colors here, just because I'm going to put my darker colors on top of these, so I really have to have these pretty much done before I do anything else. So I'm just adding my little snow blips on the air. Not too much, just a little snow here and there. Dink it on there. Dabbing it. Trying to kind of go in the somewhat same direction as I had the branches. Kind of dabbing some on top of maybe where the heaviest branches would be. And then, well, there's one right here I didn't do. Let's do this one. What time is it? 7 o'clock. Okay. Can't you do it? I've got an hour. I think I can. We'll see.
Of course you can. At least you can do 2 hours with me and then however long you need to without me.
Good to know where your loyalties lie there. All right. Okay. So there we go. It's definitely something. I'm going to clean off my palette here because I am running out of space and I'm going to be using different colors for the rest of the trees. So I'm just going to clear off. This is a glass palette. It's in my Amazon shop if anybody's interested. I always get questions about it whenever I do this. So this is just a regular glass scraper. Nothing fancy. Lowe's or whatever. I actually have bought the fancy ones that go with the glass palettes, and I don't like them as well. So I've gone back to using this one. I like the fancy ceramic scraper that doesn't do anything but make a really terrible noise like chalkboard on chalk on chalkboard. All right, or worse. It's bad. Okay, yeah, no. Let me think here. I think I want to use a little bit bigger brush for my bigger trees, and I think I am going to maybe I think I'm gonna use this because it's a little bit bigger, and the thickness of it I'll be able to tap it and get kind of, yeah, this is the Aspen Angle Bright 6, number 6. It's just a little bit bigger. You can still use this one if you don't have, you know, a ridiculous amount of brushes like I do. Nobody needs this many brushes, trust me.
If you don't have a problem.
Exactly. That's the truth. Okay.
Hi, my name is Angela. Hi, Angela.
It's been 2 months since I bought a brush. Okay, I'm making green. What? I want my trees to be a little green, I think. So getting the Phthalo blue and just added some yellow to it. And now I'm bringing it back to a more neutral color by adding the purple. And the purple and the yellow are opposite on the color wheels. They're going to counteract each other. Probably could have ended up with a color like this by just adding brown to my blue, but it wouldn't be as green. I would still need a little bit of yellow. So I could have added brown to like phthalo green and gotten something like this. So, all right, there we go. I'm going to add a little bit of black over here and a little bit more of my purple. A little bit maybe of more of the blue. And so I've got a couple of different options of colors. That phthalo blue and the purple were in this that I used, but I had burnt sienna with it. So instead of the burnt sienna, I've added yellow to this one. But again, this will be kind of more of our foreground-ish trees. So it's okay to have them be a little bit different colored. I think I might want to add, a little tiny bit of that teal just to start with and see, because I don't want it so different from those background trees. We'll see what we think as we get going here. But I do need to kind of load it up on this brush, and it's not doing that for me. Maybe it's just my paints are drying out. It's dry. The weather's this time of year, always. I need to run a humidifier in my studio again because my paints dry out really fast. Okay, so there's my green, and this is my kind of more bluish purple color. So adding a little bit more fluidity to the paint too, so it's not so sticky, that'll help. But I do want it pretty loaded up, fairly thick on my brush. And that way I don't have to press down or do too much to get my little dots and deals that are happening. Yep. That's exactly what I want to happen. So just a little pressure. Just trying to kind of keep it random. And as I get out here, I want to go over those other trees just a little bit with these farthest branches. You'll get into a rhythm. Your trees will look different. That's okay. You just do what you want them to look like. They don't have to look like mine. I've got lots of videos about trees and things, so you can maybe pick one of those if you want your trees to look a little different, but I think this is working. I did cover up all of my sky there. I didn't really think about that. I didn't leave my little pocket of the sky showing through. there like it was in the picture. So maybe I'll do it with this one. We'll just leave a little bit of this horizon color showing, she says, as she covers it. I mean, yeah, I just covered it. That's okay. Never mind. We're just not going to have it. It's okay. I don't know what I thought I was doing there, but it didn't happen.
See this blank spot right here? I'm going to leave it blank.
Leave it blank as I cover it.
Paint it.
And then paint it.
Done.
Done. Yep. Perfect. Just like that.
Which side of the brain wasn't listening?
I don't know. Plus these reflections in the water will be a little bit darker, and okay. All right. Let's do this one here. This is our big Christmas tree. So I just want the top of it just to be kind of pointy. I think I'll put a star up there, but maybe. So just the first few branches are just kind of out to the side. If you ever look at a pine tree, you know, they're kind of just like out to the side, or sometimes even just sticking straight up. And then as they grow down, they start to kind of angle down. So when you get to about right here, you should start to angle them down. So these ones are kind of going side to side, and then as I come down, I'm going to start to angle these down. I kind of have a rhythm that I like to do my trees in, but like I said, you kind of just come up with your own style that you like with your trees. Do that. Main thing is just kind of keep them sort of A-frame shaped. They're going to look like trees, even if they have thicker branches or whatever. Whatever you do to yours. Try to kind of keep that overall. But doing the center line helps me keep them shaped the way I want them. I'm going to come out a little bit more with this. I want it to be a little bit bigger. I'm going to go all the way off camera there. Okay, there we go. I like it. Let's put a few bushes in around our house. So maybe there's some stuff all in here. I still haven't finished doing the cabin, so I'm not going to do too much detail with those, but there we go. And then let's go ahead and do our little trees back here, and we'll be ready to start putting some detail on our cabin. And the thing with this is, you know, it's dark, and there might be, you know, things out here that are not fully defined, and that's okay too, you know. As long as it kind of blends in with the background, we can put as many trees as you want back here. It doesn't have to be just like mine. I've got just a little bit of room for a moon if we decide to do that. All right, I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to add a little bit of this darker color underneath the eaves of my house, under my cabin. It's okay if it's blue. We'll lighten it up. It's the only dark color I've got right now, so I'm just going to use it. And let's go ahead and put some of this darker color in my water here where this tree is going to be. We're going to add lights to that tree, so it's going to be a lot lighter overall, but just a little bit there, and maybe that tree's showing up slightly in the water here and here. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now we've got our little river. We've got our reflections. We'll put our snow in our trees back here. So let's get some of that white. Mix it with our tree color and add some to our trees here. Again, just whatever color they are, just add a little bit of white to it. And I'm not being really fussy about where I'm putting it, just thinking about where, you know, if you've got a branch that's coming out like this, it's gonna usually gather kind of on the part that sticks out the most. So, and it lays in clumps on the branches. So you gotta, it kind of follows the same form as the branch. So if I've got a branch right here, I'm gonna kind of, when I dab in my snow, I'm gonna kind of follow the shape and just kind of do it sort of in the middle towards the end of that shape. Okay. Realizing that may not be as straightforward for everybody. So I'll try to explain that a little bit. Get easier to understand what I'm talking about.
For the poor people in like Hawaii.
Yeah, they're so, I feel that bad. They don't know.
No.
They don't know where the snow lays on the trees. Oh well. I don't think they're suffering.
No, and there's people obviously from many different parts of the world that have never seen snow. So.
Oh, is that what your point was?
Well, yeah.
Check.
Yeah, at least not in real life.
I don't know how old I was. Well, I guess I do know. I was 13 before I saw any snow that was more than a dusting.
You didn't get snow on the top of the mountain there?
There was, but we would drive up and it would be like in little banks, along the side of the road, already melting. So it didn't stick. It didn't stay. And we, of course, weren't driving up while it was snowing. So no. There's other places in California that had more snow, but I just didn't live near it, and we didn't ski and stuff. So, yep. Okay, so there we go. You can get as fancy as you want with those. So let's go ahead and put our snow on the roof. I'm just going to go ahead and use this color because I have it, and I'm just going to kind of dab and pull. Make sure I'm kind of defining that. Remember, we were having the vanishing point. It's going to line up with the horizon line. So our horizon line was here. So somewhere out here. So I might bring this point up just a little bit right here. Maybe that. We could even have icicles if we wanted to, but I can't do too much because my cabin's not done. So, but I'm going to just put in some snow on my roof. Like that. Just kind of dragging it. It looks a little wonky. That's okay. We'll get it there. I definitely I'm missing like the lighter values, being that we went a little bit darker with our background. We're definitely going to have to bump up our values a little bit and add some warmer tones in here. So I still need to add lighter tones to my snow and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and kind of get our cabin sort of where we want it to be. So this is where I think I am going to go with like more of a burnt orange magenta and burnt sienna will make a burnt orange, quinacridone burnt orange type color. I use that, maybe even a little bit of the orange. And this is going to be fairly transparent, so I'm going to use the Unbleached Titanium to make it more opaque. And then if it looks too pink or whatever, we can add a little bit of brown to it. But that's pretty close to what I want, I think. And I'm going to just kind of figure out where I want my cabin logs. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. And kind of just dab in sort of some log-like highlights on there. Maybe on this darker area I'll use a little bit more of the burnt umber. This one's not as close to the light, maybe. I don't know where our light source is. Maybe our moon, our tree is going to be our light source. That's it. So everything that's kind of facing the tree will be a little bit lighter. Facing or near it. All right, so there we go. We've got our kind of ish. Let's get some yellow. A little bit of the Unbleached Titanium. And kind of go right up next to my door there with it. Kind of around it. Just say that maybe this area is going to get a little bit more light. And I'm just kind of trying to glow it up a little bit. So right up here and kind of right around my... No, I'm just barely touching this so that it's just barely kind of dabbing on a little bit of color around my windows on my cabin, giving them a little bit of a glow. And I can even add some inside my house in the glow area to brighten it up a little bit. It's close. I don't know. Let's get some white here. And some more of my cadmium yellow light. So each time I'm going a little bit brighter, you can see. So this time I'm going to really kind of figure out where my light source is inside my cabin here. And maybe it's up here. Maybe I've got a light that's above the door even. I don't know. Let me think. Yeah, we could put a light up here next to it. Put some of that reddish color around it. Maybe there's a light there. I think I'm going to put a little window. Maybe this is a... Let me think. Do we want this to be a door? I think so. But I think I'm going to make it a little bit more like it's bright, but maybe it's got a little something else going on there. You know, just a slight indication of something. There, it doesn't take much. All right, gonna get a little bit of the yellow. I'm just free-forming it. This is literally a made-up cabin. So it's not going to look super realistic. I've got a couple reference images that I'm trying to piece together, but, you know, it's just going to be what it is. You're just going to have to deal. Sorry. It may not be perfect. And that's okay. I'm telling myself this. I'm not telling you guys. Although there will inevitably be the person that's like, that's not... Whatever. That's okay. Gotta love them.
Yep.
They live for this stuff.
Bring it.
You were just looking for.
You do you.
You do you. Yeah.
You do you.
You do you.
Wherever that is.
Whatever floats your boat there. Go around and correct artists on the internet.
And we'll just keep doing us.
Exactly.
No matter what.
Nope.
And
Nope.
laughing.
And I'll just laugh.
And having fun.
And yes, exactly. And no, you're right. I could be more perfect, but you know, life's not fair.
But we have to give you hope.
Exactly. Yeah, if I was perfect, then nobody would even try. So yeah, I have to, you know.
I'll stop there.
Yeah, exactly.
And eat some Valentine's jelly beans here.
Adding some white to my cadmium yellow light. We do the best we can. That's all I have to say. That's my disclaimer. You get what you pay for. I try a little, not that I don't try hard, but I do take more time with my Patreon videos. So if you want a little bit more in depth or, you know, a little bit more design details and a little bit more kind of just in depth in general, then that's the place to go, because I don't have time to do a 10-hour painting on YouTube.
Right. This is geared towards beginners.
Right.
And that's
exactly
the intent, and that's how we do it.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the ones with a little bit more advanced are for the $5 level currently, right. And the little bit more advanced is $10 level currently.
Right. Yep. All right, let me go ahead and put my little window panes in. I'm just going to dab. That light's peeking through, so it's not going to be perfect. Let's go ahead and give them some panes. And I'm going to follow the same general lines that I have already established there. Just a little there, and maybe highlight around a little bit. This literally is like super sloppy painting, but that's okay. We're just kind of giving it an essence of the cabin, this ode to cabin. It's nighttime, it's glowing. It's not going to be all, you can't, even in the photograph, you can't tell what's what in there when it's nighttime and it's all dark and glowing. All right, so let's think right here, about the same distance away from there. I'm gonna start to add that glow on my snow. In the water. Getting my white. And wherever I want my brightest white, just do a little dab right in the center of the brightest white part with that white. Okay, that's really going to make it glow. Now, I'm going to probably dry brush even a little bit more on here, but I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of my bright yellow. I actually think I'm going to switch brushes. This brush will help me get more of a texture to my snow, and I'm just going to dab with this is the, I showed it and never said 3/8 inch Deerfoot Stippler. Just like with this brush, and you get to guess what it is.
No points.
Exactly. Right, and some of the orangey in the water. Again, kind of pulling down in the water. I forgot. I'm supposed to be pulling down in the water. And then I want kind of that same dark color from our cabin too. So I'm going to get some burnt sienna, burnt umber, and kind of pull down sort of where my line of my cabin is. I didn't think about that. The cabin's going to be in front of these trees, so I didn't have to do those trees in the water. The cabin's going to be in front of all that. It's closer to the water this way, closer to the viewer. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get some more white and some ultramarine blue. And we'll start to kind of add some more white here and there. Especially where that light is hitting and has lit up that snow. I have a little bit more white. And I'm going to go ahead and, that snow is also going to influence my water a little bit. Get some of that ultramarine blue and pull that down. Kind of where, I don't like this brush. Okay, I'm going to go back to this one.
Which one you like it?
The angle brush that I was using before. Actually, let me switch to my blender. That'll give me a little bit more control. It's kind of like the Deerfoot with the texture, but it's rounded, so it's, well, the Deerfoot was rounded too, but it was just too big. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. Okay, I'm okay. Slow down, think. Kind of rushing myself here. I'm trying to get it done. No, I just need to think about what I'm doing. All right, there we go. And getting the burnt sienna with a little bit of the yellow. Just trying to... Now, snow and water are very similar. Well, they're both water in forms, but they are, they're going to, they're reflective. Water is reflective. Anything white is reflective, but water especially is kind of like mirror, you know. And so we can... whatever we're seeing up here, we can kind of bring it down into our water. I'm going to get more of that cobalt teal and just kind of mess up my line there where I brought the cabin down and put in my blue back in because I kind of covered it up when I did my cabin, and then I realized, well, I need that. I don't need to cover up my reflection of my snowbank. Closer to us, that's going to show up in the water. And then as we get farther and farther away, the next thing is going to show up in the next and the next, if that makes sense. So if we do the whole house and then we, end up with some of that area where we can do like some of the roof and things in the water up here. So maybe up in here, we've got that somewhere in here. We'll maybe start to see some of that roof line kind of showing up too in the water back here. But I want to also sort of keep it loose. I don't want to get too fussy with my reflections, so I think that's pretty close. Now I'm going to get my white and my Ultramarine Blue again. I think I got a little bit of yellow in it. That's okay. I'm going to dab that on here. Now we're talking. Now we'll get some really good like snow effects. A lot lighter. Maybe even some icicles coming down. On our cabin there. Those are look a little bit deadly, so careful when you come out. little scary looking. Yeah. Getting some of that teal because the sky is that teal color. It's going to be reflected in our snow. Give that some teal on there. Put it some in our snow down here. All the colors happening. Okay, there we go. We're getting there. We'll get there eventually. We just gotta layer it up. Again, if I put the light snow on the bank, I need to put it in the water too. It's going to show up a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and work on this side because we've neglected it for a while here. So I need to add my, whoop, I got some dirty snow there. Get some white. Go. Dragging down at an angle there to get that snowbank. All right, and then let's go ahead and start doing our tree. So our tree, we're going to have, let's go ahead and, I'm going to add some white to this green color that we had going on. That's the color I'm going to use for my snow. Still using this blender brush. And leaving these dark areas are really important because you need to have space for your branches to be attached to your tree. So if you don't leave those, it's just going to all look flat. So be sure you leave your dark. Peeking through here and there. Okay, that looks good. Let's go ahead and use that in my water. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of, maybe there's some sparkles here and there that I don't know about yet. Maybe let's put some sparkles on one of these trees right here. I'm going to put some of that. In front of the cabin there. This will help create depth too, by foreshortening, putting something in front of something else like this. Pushes everything behind it back. So we'll just push our cabin back a little bit. We'll have some greenery here. Make sure we have a good shadow underneath it. That looks good. And then we can grab some more yellow. We can put some little lights in our trees if we want. Maybe they're all lit up. It's starting to get there. We'll get it there eventually.
As you always do.
Thanks. You have faith in me.
Oh, I've watched one or two of these videos, so I kind of know how it's going to end.
Pull it out in
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
I didn't see any beach chairs in this, so it should be just fine.
No benches.
No benches, no.
Hey, I rocked the bench.
You did. That bench was fire.
I did make it.
As the kids would say, it was fire.
It was fire. But did you have the tea? You were so confused, Spencer. Spencer spilled the tea or something like that, he said.
He was reading a chat.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, now I know the tea.
Yeah, now I know the tea.
And I'm like, okay, what the heck are you talking about?
Gossip. All right. I think I want to do a little bit more with the reflections of the trees and the water back here. I think I might do a different color in the water instead of using the same color as them. I think that's what I'm not liking about it. So I think I might use the Ultramarine Blue, a little bit of white maybe, and a little bit of that Cobalt Teal. So the Cobalt Teal is sort of the color in the water. I think that I'm just going to kind of mess it up a little bit. I'm also feeling a little too literal right now. I want it to feel a little bit more watery. So just kind of, yeah, a little bit better. Maybe get some white with my Cobalt Teal. And pull down some kind of watery reflections and things in that water. This is the part kind of up to artistic interpretation. You know, you can do whatever it is that you kind of want to do in your water here within reason. You know, look at some pictures of similar scenes and see what you're seeing. Generally, they're going to kind of reflect what's going on in the general, you know, close vicinity. So I don't want to do anything too crazy, but I do kind of want some of this magenta color. So I'm kind of turning my snow purple and going to add some of that color in my water in that area. That'll kind of, and I'm still kind of just obscuring those shapes that I did just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to get a little bit more of that magenta and put some of those dabs in my tree. A little bit of white with it. The white just helps make it more opaque, so it covers up these really bright colors or dark colors that we've got going on. I'm just dabbing it, literally trying not to get too fussy with it. Dab in the water. And maybe let's put a little bit of this color over here in the cabin and in the water. Maybe some on the snowbank. in the water. This color is going to help kind of tie it all together, I think. Give it a little bit more of a brightness overall. Getting that orange. A little bit of white. And if you want to make it more red, you can add a little bit of the magenta to it, or you can make it more orangey if you want, or more yellowish if you want to add a little bit of yellow to it. I'm just gonna add just a few. Each time I do this, I'm kind of adding less and less. The yellow was sort of the hero color. It's gonna be the one that you see the most of. And then maybe some of this color is showing up in my bushes too. Getting some glow from the things around it. Okay. All right. You're almost there. I'm going to go back to this angle brush here. I'm going to get some of the Cobalt Teal, but add a little bit of yellow this time. A little bit of white. Make a bright lime green kind of color. I'm going to use that. Not bright enough. A little bit brighter. Here we go. Now we'll start to see some of this. We get a little bit of that teal and just kind of dab it sort of around those ones I just did. And I'm going to do this with no white at all. There we go. Want a few of these to... Now, I'm kind of losing my shape of my tree and my dark areas, so I got to be careful not to do too much of this in my dark parts of my tree, which is, hard because you're going to run out of real estate pretty quick. So kind of pull back every now and then, look at it, make sure you're not losing your shape. Make sure you're not losing your darkest areas. So I'm going to get my white and my magenta, and so I'm going to go like 2 or 3 shades lighter, and I'm going to find those magenta areas and dab in a little bit of a brighter spot there. Okay. Find my... I'm going to use some red, I think. Just do a couple of them in a really bright red. So I can go over some of these that I've done too and use red. Especially if I have a little bit of white on there. Do a few of them with red. I'm gonna add a little tiny bit of red over here in my cabin light. And in my snow. Maybe in my... If I do too much, you can always pull back. I need to glow up my bank on the side of the river here too. Get some white. Get the... So the Zinc White is transparent. So this is where we're going to use it for snow, because the snow will be kind of transparent. Not this snow, the snow in the sky. But I do want to give my bank some glow, and I'm going to use this kind of orangey, the kind of Indian yellow hue with white. Use that in my tree where I had that yellow little dots earlier. Wherever I can find a spot. Brighten it up. Starting to get that kind of a glow feeling to it. And the key with the glow is to have a main color that is darker, that's more saturated, and then have your lighter color right in the middle. Just dab just a really bright. So I'm gonna get the yellow, and I'm gonna do yellow and white for the green areas here. And even just kind of on its own, doesn't have to have the thing around it, but it helps if there's like a little bit of a color underneath, because then it really pops, makes it feel like it's a glow. And kind of like what we did here, where we kind of added that white to our highlights. Oh, I forgot my chimney. Let's do our chimney really quick. Shoot. What time is it? Okay, I'm gonna have to rush.
There's plenty of time. You've got plenty of time.
I think I want it to be kind of a brickish color, kind of similar to the cabin here. So I'm gonna get the kind of reddish tones, dark, and I'm gonna put it right in here. And have a unbleached titanium here with the burnt sienna. And we'll put in make sure this angle matches. Well, no, I guess it's going to go this way because it's coming down towards our horizon line or vanishing point over there. So something like that. That'll be down, and then this part will angle up there. That looks really skinny, doesn't it? I need to beef that up. I'm gonna get some darker color here. Go a little bit thicker with it back here.
Not necessarily.
Looks okay?
Yeah, we're just getting the highlights.
Okay. I'm gonna add a shadow. Get some of that white, teal color, kind of clean up the edges a little bit, and just, there we go. Add some shadow around it. Let's add some sparkle, some zhuzh, my icicles. Some little sparklies. Probably have some yellow in it, but you know, I've got white, so that's what they're gonna do. And gonna take that zinc white and wipe most of it out, and just kind of come up here and use the tip of that brush and draw in some smoke coming out. Just literally holding it as far back as I can and starting here. I don't want a lot of paint on my brush though. The zinc white will help make it transparent and just keep it. I don't think I needed the second. You kind of got it in the first try, but I was trying to show you again, but there we go. So we got some smoke happening. We got our tree. Let's get a little bit more brightness on our snow on our tree and on our bank here. So now we got our lights. We're gonna brighten up just a little bit here and there. And if we want to, we can put a, I do want to. I'm going to put a little glow around my treetop. So I'm going to get the kind of orangey color. And I'm going to go back to the blender because it'll be easier to do. Wipe most of it out. That was too much. Really wipe it out. There we go. Do that. Should just barely. Okay, let's add a little bit more. Get some yellow this time. So each time getting a little bit brighter and going out less far. Okay, a little bit of white. Maybe do a little star with it this time. I'm getting losing my center there because I kind of tabbed on it too many times, but I'm going to just do a little bit of white there. There we go. And, you know, anywhere else, like any colors that you want to do on your tree, you don't have to do the same colors as me. So if you want, you know, a more like certain color scheme, you could do that with your lights. Just make sure you're always kind of doing it in the water too, and maybe my snow is also getting some of these colors from my lights too, so maybe add a little color to the snow in front there. Let's add some snow. Speaking of, I'm gonna get my fan brush and get that zinc white now. I just like zinc white for snow because it's transparent. It goes on softer than the titanium white. It just doesn't look as harsh, you know. It looks a little softer and a little. It's turning green because I'm too close to my green there. Okay, that's all right. I could clean my palette probably. But you do need to have it fluid, so that's the main thing. You need your paint to come off your brush really easily, and I probably should have just waited to put my zinc white out until the very end here where I needed it. You can also use it in the water, and I do like to use it in the water, so I think I'm going to kind of just maybe dab some little horizontal. Okay, I don't know what is going on here. There we go. Come on, come off. It's like clumping, so it's not cooperating. It's like half of it's super soupy and wet, and half of it's like all clumped up on my brush and doesn't want to come off. Okay, let's try that again. Might do some little slight zigzaggy. I see. This just, especially if you go over the top of your reflections, it really helps kind of sell that feeling of water and iciness. Do this last. Okay, that looks all right. Let's try to see. Let's see how this splatters. I don't know if it's going to splatter. It's not wanting to come off my brush normal. This is kind of being all sticky. Now, come on. I may have to go with the titanium white after all. It needs to be kind of like a milk-like consistency. I'm not getting much of that right now. It's just Look at that. It's like clumping. Huge clumps. Definitely don't want that on your palette. So make sure you don't have big clumps on here. You just need it. Here we go. Now we're getting there. You see how you can kind of see through it when I do like that? But it's still solid looking in the thickest parts. That's what you want. Okay. Nope, still too thick. Still too thick. I just need to keep adding, you know, that's why you test it. Those big clumps tell me it's still too thick too. So I'm just going to keep adding water until it is thin enough that it doesn't do that. Wow, okay, now we're talking there. I need to make sure that my background is dry before I do this, because this is really soupy and really, some of them are coming off really big. Okay, here we go. It's snowing. I actually don't mind the bigger snowflakes. And this hides a multitude of sins too, so if you have a problem area that you don't like, just load it up with snow. Kind of miss the pink tones in the sky. I wish I'd gotten my sky a little bit more pink, but I think it works. Oh, I forgot the moon, but all right, well, it's not going to have the moon, I guess. It's too, no, I can't, because it's too wet now. I can't do it right now. But another time. I do have a tutorial with, I have several with moon. So if you go to my website, go ahead and pop up the website name on there, thankfulart.com. If you go there and go to the tutorial section, if you're a patron, be sure to log in first, because the patrons get all the goodies. They can download them straight from the website, but and you just pop in moon, type in moon in the search, and it'll bring up all my tutorials that have moons in them, and you can put a moon in your in yours. And yeah, I think I'm gonna get a little bit more white and just do a little bit of white right up along this border right here. Maybe just a little more. A little bit more brightness here and there, but I think all in all for a 2-hour tutorial is not too bad. Could have added more snow. You know, you can do whatever you want. I think it'd be cute to even do like a little, I did that one tutorial that has the moon and the Santa in the sleigh, you know, going through the moon. So you could do something like that up there if you wanted to. Get creative. This is, you know, your painting.
So I need you to do 2 things.
What?
1, show them the snowman sticker.
Oh, no, I didn't.
No, I need you to.
Okay. There you
So
go.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's coming up at the end of the month. Tutorial on that.
Yes, we'll be painting
gonna be
that
awesome.
in a couple weeks.
I am
really
so looking
excited.
forward to that.
I had to make stickers. They were too cute. So
Love it.
I really just did a bunch of them because they were on sale and I wanted one.
And the other thing, remind us again about the list.
Okay, yes. So the list, it's just a way for you to put your input in on what kind of art supplies you think that you find essential, or maybe ones that you like to give other people who are just starting out painting, something on your wish list this year. Really just kind of a way to communicate what kind of art supplies that that you are wanting to see me maybe test or use in an upcoming video. Don't, you know, just keep it to acrylics, because I'm not going to be teaching watercolors anytime soon. I'm not a watercolor artist. I don't know enough about it to teach it. I'm still learning it myself. So, but, you know, within the acrylics realm.
Because like anything, you can go into an art store and you see thousands of gadgets and doodads and
Right.
it's the best ever and this and that, and you just don't know if that's true or want to spend the money on it.
Yeah.
So maybe we can help out. Maybe we can do some testing.
Right. Yeah. We'll do a little bit. I'll talk about what I like and don't like. And that'll be in the, upcoming months here coming up to December. I'll have a list out for Black Friday. I'm hoping to have a list out for that kind of just has sort of my top, what I would get if I was just learning to paint with acrylics, what I think are, good purchases to start out with for a beginner, and then just kind of transition here because I had like a really hard edge to those highlights, and I just wanted to kind of transition a little bit better into my snow there.
And
but yeah, just kind of,
so the link is below the description of this video.
Right.
Will we be putting it in the newsletter and stuff?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I'm just going to be talking about it in that podcast, and
Okay.
I'll be using the results potentially in upcoming videos to talk about.
Gotcha.
So there's a little consent, when you do give your suggestions, just to allow me to use your suggestions in
questions,
videos, right? And yeah, exactly. So, because I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing yet, but I'm just kind of trying to get your guys' input on, because I know what I think, but I'd like to hear what you think too. So that's it. Just kind of getting. I'm noticing here that this seems like it doesn't narrow very much back here. So I think I'm going to bring this bank out just a little bit more here, and I'm just going to try to match up that color just a little bit, but I feel like it'll help close off this back area if I do that. I'm just going to bring that bank out a little bit more right in there, right through there, and that'll help kind of close that area off, and maybe bring this down here a little bit. I'm sorry. Well, as I'm watching, I'm noticing
I'm looking
that.
at it. That no, what I'm is like, okay, you're like, okay, I'm going to narrow this down, and then 8 brush strokes later, it's completely changed.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. Doesn't take much, and then I just need to make sure I have my dark areas in there, back in. But I think that helped a little bit, maybe. Make sure wherever you do that, you just have your bank, snowy bank there. And I think I'm going to bring that down just a little bit right here. Okay, what time is it? 8:04. All right, we definitely need to quit.
Okay.
We're getting there. We did good. Honestly, this was one I wasn't sure I could get done in 2 hours because it's got a lot going on.
3 hours later.
I definitely simplified it quite a bit, but I think we got the essence of it for you, hopefully. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will be back next week with another tutorial for you. We're not taking a break for Thanksgiving. We're just Mark's gonna be on vacation, but I'm not. So, and he goes along with what I for my tutorials.
I do what the boss tells me.
Yep, he has to help me. So sadly for him, no, he likes it.
I do. I like this time together.
He does. Yeah, we talk about you guys, how fun it is to get to do this with you guys, and it's just amazing. This job did not exist 12 years ago when I started doing this stuff. It was you know what? I don't know. I don't see anybody doing this on the internet. And the internet was, still fairly new, and was just kind of like, maybe somebody would want to see what I'm doing in my kids' classes. And
what is it, cake? I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? You never know till you try it. So, and all these years later, we're just
and all these
happy
amazing
and
people
getting to share this stuff with you guys, and just amazed that I get to do this every week. It's just so fun. I love it. I would be doing it even even if nobody was watching. But thankfully, you guys do. Or at least a few of you do.
Oh, yeah, they do.
So, it's awesome. We love it. So, all right, I'm just kind of messing with it. All right, there we go. Fiddling. I probably could spend another hour on here. Add a moon, add all kinds of things. There's all kinds of fun stuff you could add. I was thinking a snowman would be fun right here, but I definitely didn't have time for that. So, and nobody got time for that. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Bye.